Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the I Refuse to Fail Network and our 1530 events. And as you all know, we have a topic discussion periodically. And today it was brought up that people want to talk about lead generation and maybe how people are doing it differently now or what they're doing about it. Are they doing it? Just in general. And I'll kick it off with just a couple ideas that I think sometimes I prefer connections versus leads personally. I think leads can be valuable, and a lot of people sell lists, or they use AI, or they're using different things to accumulate target markets to send stuff out. But there's all different kinds of ways that people are using, and now I assume it's probably changing. And now we're at 2025, and I'm sure things are going to continue to change. But we're going to have a little discussion about that, and maybe some nuggets of information will pop up that can help some people. So if those of you who want to participate in this, if you will physically raise your hand, I'll call on you. You can unmute and you can talk a little bit about lead generation. Okay, Robert? You need to unmute, please.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Well, you mentioned two different ways to get lead generations. Obviously you can buy leads. I don't believe in buying leads, but I know people can do that. You can also advertise in Google. I don't necessarily think of the people I've talked to get the right return on investment for the dollars spent. I do it the old-fashioned way, networking. I'm a street smart networker, and the key is going to different networking groups. I'm sure you probably heard the saying that your net worth is in direct relationship to the value of your network. So some of the mistakes that I see people make when they network, number one, they're too focused on trying to sell people and get the client rather than focus on collaborations. The value happens when you do the one-on-one. That's where you really get to know the other person, because I believe it's still that human connection. Because if you do a proper job of networking, that's going to lead you to another way of getting leads, which is referrals. So those are the two predominant ways. The other way that I know a lot of people get leads, and we mentioned that a little earlier, either on podcasts or on different master class, as long as you've got a system and a methodology, once you speak one to many, that you're able to develop. Again, it still comes down to those meaningful connections. That's where you're going to get where you got a chance of taking that chance meeting and turning it into a meaningful relationship.
Okay. And I totally agree with you. Obviously, I've been networking since 2010, and my whole premise is the same as Zig Ziglar's, which he said, if to paraphrase, if you help enough other people get what they want in life, you'll get what you want. So if you have the idea of networking and you can't do it once, okay, you might as well advertise if you're going to just go jump from meeting to meeting. But if you're going to network, you can build, if you build just 12 people, just 12, a dozen people that get to know, like, and trust you, you've got people out there getting you leads, okay? Because you'll always be top of mind with that person, but you have to develop that relationship. If you're not going to do that, then you need to advertise, most likely. Networking isn't for you. I know I've had clients that did Google ads that have done tremendously well. I've done well with Google ads on product sales, but I think it has its own place, and I think networking has its own place, or advertising versus networking has its own place. But no, I totally agree with you, and it's a shame that not more people understand what networking or how networking can really help their business. And I'm trying to change that one person at a time, but or one group at a time. But I can't do that during an event. So and that's why I created the partnership. So David, did you want to chime in?
Yeah, one of the things that I do, it's really old fashioned. Actually, I have a local networking group, and what I've done is I've invited local business owners to a free, yes, that's right, free business networking group. We meet the first Friday of every month. One of the local restaurants is sponsoring it. We also tried it in another location with a hotel lobby, and both of them got a whole lot of leads from the people that were there for parties and events and things like that. So they were happy with us. They provide free appetizers and drink service, and that's basically it. And it's free form. What I do is I have people just basically there's a milk can. Here it is. Biz cards, right? And that's their admission ticket to coming to the event. And then if they want to have us talk to the entire group all at one time, then what I do is I say, okay, bring a door prize. And then we'll choose from the business cards the person that's going to win your door prize, and that'll give you 3 or 4 minutes to talk to all of us all at one time about what it is that you're doing. And it's grown. I'm on my fourth iteration now at this location. So it's one of the things that I moved to a new city, and so having to start a business all over again in a new city, I decided I'm going to have them come to me rather than me go to them. And it's working pretty well. The first iteration was like 5 people. We had about 8 on the next one. Last time was 15. And so it's growing, and now I'm having people saying, "Hey, is it okay if I bring a friend of mine like that?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that'll be fine. Thank you." And that's the way I'm doing it. And it's really working out pretty well. Everybody's happy, everybody wins. That's the only game I'm interested in playing anyway. So
Okay. All right, good. Carolyn?
Yeah, I dare say that our team here that meets on Wednesdays at 2:45 Eastern time, we get it. We know what networking is. We know what building relationships is all about. And we have a whole company that was born from that. I was networking for one of our other companies, and we came up with this idea because it was beneficial for networking. So if you don't know, if you're watching this and you're out there buying leads and you're feeling like you're not getting traction, come to this group, connect with some of us, get to the one. You look at all these people that would be willing to do one-to-ones with you and help you on your way. And I can tell you that it was other people that helped me become a better networker, because I was one of those people that wanted to run from it. I didn't like being in rooms where I didn't know everybody. I didn't like standing up in front of room talking to people that I didn't know. And so any of those jitters, that kind of thing, that's putting you off from networking, it's been the best thing, and we've been in business for almost 40 years. So we are all here to help you. Come join us.
Yep, you're right. And that's why we developed this partnership. And it almost sounds like we're promoting this, but I'm not really, because we're talking about lead generation. There's nothing wrong with buying leads, I guess. If it works for you, the bottom line is, if it works, do it. If it doesn't work, do something different. I mean, there's too many people that get into a rut doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. I think you know where I'm coming from with that
We all
statement.
understand the referrals, though, that we get from
Exactly.
building
Yeah.
relationships and real warm introductions to people that are wanting the services that when you're connecting these two people, someone that provides it and someone that wants it. How nice is that?
Well, the other thing is if you are going to network, you need to network properly. Okay. And if you're not going to have a one-to-one with people, go advertise, because a lot of people will go to a meeting and they'll say, well, I'm not going to meet with that person. They have nothing in common with me. They have nothing that I can sell them. They're not going to buy what I have, and I don't need what they have. You don't know who they know. Okay. It could be a janitor, and I don't mean to demean janitors. It could be a janitor. And you say, well, I have nothing in common with a janitor. But the janitor might work for a CEO of a major company that could be your client. You don't know who they know. So you meet with this many people. You can't meet and help too many new people. Okay. I've said that since 2010. I used to have it on my website. And I really think it's important. If you're going to network, do it properly. If you're not, that's okay. It's not for everybody. Go advertise, buy a billboard, get some TV ads, Google ads, whatever it takes. Just go do that, because that's more of a direct, somebody click because they wanted what you had and they're going to your site or whatever. But okay. Anybody else have anything? Angie, you brought the question up today, so I don't know if we're hitting on what you were wanting to
Eugene
discuss or not.
and Mark have their hands up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Everything on my screen is really small, but all right, who else? Mark, did you have something?
Mark and Eugene.
Okay, well, let's go with Mark first.
Okay, thanks, Carl. Yeah, so networking is definitely important, but I think knowing now how to network is also just as important. A lot of people, there's a lot of networking groups where you'll attend and pretty much everyone's just selling each other something. They hand you their business card, they tell you what they do. A lot of it, and nothing against financial or insurance, but typically when you go to a lot of these groups, that's kind of what they'll hand you. There will be a lot. Might be a couple real estate people there as well, trying to sell you houses or saying, "Hey, are you selling your house?" Or you'll see a lot of those signs up there everywhere, but no one really asks you the right questions on how can I help you or what problems are you having, and I think that the how-to and educating people on kind of what you do and how you can help them, maybe even connecting them with other people in your network that that can help them. I work with a lot of other web development and software companies that aren't mine, and I don't get profits from them. But there might be another company that does mobile apps, which we don't do at all. Or there might be another software development company that might be a better fit than what ours is. And I have no problem recommending or connecting you with those types of people because I want to help the business. That's my goal. And I think that really should be everyone's goal when they're in business. And it really actually will help you thrive further. I think the other part of things too is getting those leads, whether or not you're running ads, purchasing lists, is making a plan on follow-ups. There's a lot of companies that will have ads out there or be listed for certain services in directories, but they'll never call the person back. I just got a phone call today. Someone was interested in help for a landing page for a website. And I was the only person that called him back. So of course I'm probably going to end up being able to close that deal because the other 3 or 4 companies that he called, even though they're even local, just did not return a call. So it's as simple as sometimes doing that phone call follow-up or having some kind of email campaign where the automation is set up for you. I think all of those things kind of come into play. And talking with someone about that lead generation and follow-up process, I think, is important. So,
Yeah, I agree with you. And it blows my mind how many times people will have a lead and they don't use it. And I don't know why. I haven't figured that one out yet. And it's nothing new. I've experienced it back before the internet. Okay. I had people that I would call to where the company I was with wanted to spend $5,000 on a piece of machinery. And it took a week and a half for them to get back. For heaven's sakes, you want to buy something from me, the ink doesn't dry on the screen before I'm calling you back, and but it blows my mind. So yeah, follow-up is a very important part of the lead utilization. Eugene, did you have your hand up? Did you want to say something?
I was going to say I developed a new way of getting leads now by asking a question, and the question has to relate to the people I'm looking for, the clients I'm looking for. And if I ask that question, they are contacting me, and the people who do contact me are contacting other people who also want the answer to that question. So it's actually brought in a whole new member of our team now that we've opened up for what we do. So it's interesting. A what if question. What if you could? And then, of course, if I ask that question, say, do you have the answer? Because that's what they're looking for. So that's the what if. I found that it's starting to work. So
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, keep it up then, Robert?
Somebody had their hand up before me. I mean,
I can't, for some reason, I'm not
okay.
seeing
anybody. Angie had her hand up before me if she wants.
That's all right. Go ahead, Robert.
Okay, no problem. We're talking about follow through. And for those of you that are not aware of it, because if you got a systematic way to do that, because if you can get referrals or the more referrals you get, it makes, the other process not as important. So Engage Pro, who's a good friend of mine, he created for refer.com many years ago, and he's got a complete systematic way that taking that contact and turning it into a meaningful referral relationship. So it's engagepro.com. Happy to introduce anybody to him if you're interested.
Yeah, he's actually been to our event. Angie.
Yeah, and I think sometimes the lead generation can be very industry specific because you've got to be watching like the trends and what people are looking for in your industry. So like I'm a service-based business, and what's happening in my industry is people are wanting to see their expertise and they're really wanting to thoroughly vet who they hire. And so one of the lead generation strategies I'm trying is doing more lives, more teaching, more explaining how I get to my point of view so that people can vet me on the front end before they even reach out to join my world, to be like, is Angie going to be the right financial coach for me? How do I know Angie's going to help me? To really start building that know, like, and trust online. And what that's doing is that's been attracting clients that by the time they reach out to me, they're like, I love everything you do. And I had no idea they were even my lead. And so that's been really fun.
Okay, that's good. All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to add to it, or we pretty much beat this one to death today? I think there was some good information put out there. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. But for those of you, first time you've seen us do this, this is kind of one of the things that we do. If it's something you are interested in doing and you're seeing this for the first time, you're welcome to go to irefusetofail.com and sign up to be a part of our little group here. It's absolutely free. We're just here helping people, and we'd love to have you and take on some of your information. You're also welcome to comment on any of the discussions that we've had. So with that being said, I'm going to stop the recording, and we'll get back to our regular meeting. If I can figure out how to shut this thing off.